your plan to bring in Black American and Brown American votes? I mean, after all these people have been told.
I'll repeat the question.
After all these people have been told for years and years by the forces on the left that people like you, the Brown, the Black American Republicans, are opportunists at best, maybe Uncle Toms, that they can't in good conscience vote for you. What do you do to turn around that mentality? It seems key to me.
Yeah, so the question is, how do we attract people to our cause who are in minority communities and have traditionally voted for the Democratic Party? Is that in general the question? Well, the first is, I think everything I've outlined today matter to all Americans. This notion that somehow Americans whose parents were born in another country, or Americans of a different race or ethnicity, they don't have a different tax code. They don't have a different regulatory code. They don't face different, we all live in the same country. I mean, one of the things we need to begin to accept in this country is we are all Americans. We are all in this country. We have to share this piece of land together. We have to save this republic together. We are all impacted by what's happening. I will say this. What the last 8 years have exposed is what a myth this idea is that the left and liberals are the friend of the people who are struggling to make it. It is a complete myth. Why is it a myth? Let me tell you why it's a myth. Number one, it's a myth because you know how many people in minority communities are dying to be a business owner? But most of them, many of them, disproportionate number, did not inherit any wealth. That means they have to start from scratch. Well, if you have to start from scratch, you have to compete against companies that are already doing the work you want to do, but those companies are really big. Those companies have an army of lawyers. They can hire lobbyists. And so if there's big government, they can deal with it. They may not like it, but they can deal with it. But if you're trying to start a business out of the spare bedroom of your home, you can't. And so we have no idea how many small businesses, many owned by single women, many owned by minorities, will never exist because big government has crowded them out. As an example, if you're a small business owner, who's going to lend you the money? Is it going to be the big bank on Wall Street? No. It's going to be the local community banker that knows the community and knows you. The problem is 40% of them have been wiped out by Dodd-Frank. They can't afford to deal with its regulations. And so these small banks either close or they sell to the bigger banks. The bigger banks are bigger than they've ever been. Who is feeling a disproportionate share of this impact? The people that are struggling to make it. And a large number of them happen to come from minority communities. I would add to that further, the numbers don't lie. The unemployment rate today is higher among minorities than it is among the general population under this president. What about poverty? That again is being felt disproportionately in minority communities. Our safety net programs do absolutely nothing to cure poverty. Let me tell you what our safety net programs are like. They're like if you break your arm and you go to the doctor and he says, here's a lifetime supply of Advil. We're going to help you deal with the pain of your broken arm, but we're not going to fix it. That's what our anti-poverty programs are. They pay you money every month to make you more comfortable in your poverty, but they do not do nearly enough to cure it. And so that's why I've argued that we need to collapse all of these anti-poverty programs into a flex fund and make them available to states and local communities for each community to design true anti-poverty programs that cure poverty at the local and state level, not a one-size-fits-all federal model. And the only requirement would be this. If you are receiving federal assistance to fight poverty, you must either be working or you must be going to school so that you can emerge from poverty and never have to rely on the government again. The idea the left has is just to leave people trapped forever in that system, as if somehow it's going to magically cure the conditions that they face. And so this is a myth. This is a lie that somehow the left is the party of big government. The liberals are the party of more government, more regulations, and more taxes. And what that does is it freezes everyone in place. And I'll close with this. Look around the world. If you look around the world, in most societies in the world, it's the same rich families and the same big companies that dominate the economy generation after generation. Why? Because of big government. It freezes everything in place, and the people trying to make it never have a chance. Yes, sir?
You are